I'd rather have a jealous foe than a jealous friend. Stay tuned, we'll talk about it. God bless you, friend. Thank you for joining Pastor Nate this morning on Morning Nuggets. Actually, this is Saturday afternoon, but when you get the video, it will be in the morning. Before I get into the topic of discussion, just want to let you know tonight on the Smart Show, we will be live. Yes, friend, you were in the house last week. Thank you for showing me some support. I want you to tell your family and tell your friends that Pastor Nate is back live. We are still on our church and sexuality series. I know we went deep and we talked about some interesting things last week. We talked about incest. I think the topic was it's a family affair. We talked about when God allowed it and when he prohibited it and what it all meant. So tonight we're going to be talking about heterosexuality. Yes, heterosexuality can be just as wrong as other sexuality if it's done outside of the will of God. We're not doing this to be distasteful or to be nasty, but we just seeing what the Bible has to say about sexuality. Listen, I want to talk about the topic. Yes, I'd rather have a jealous enemy or a jealous foe. I'd rather deal with a jealous foe than to deal with a jealous friend. And the reason why I say that, because friends, we tend to have our friends real close to us. Of course, our so-called friends, or friends that we think that are friends, we have them close. They're in our lives. They're in our place and space. They meet our families. They're just intertwined in our lives. They come over our house, we break bread together. I've noticed a problem and have experienced it personally. When God is getting ready to bless you, when God is getting ready to elevate you, sometimes that person who is closest to you will have a problem. Ooh, friend, have you ever experienced that? You okay, everything's okay as long as God is not blessing, you're not being elevated, but the moment God start releasing some stuff in your life, the moment you start getting elevated, then you're going to have a problem with that so-called friend. We see it in everyday life. We hear it all the time. You may have experienced. Let me tell you, everybody who's in your social circle is not for you. And in most cases, you will find that out when you start getting elevated, when you start getting promoted. Friend, I don't have a jealous bone in my body. When I am befriending someone, I praise God when God is blessing them, for real. I mean, I got my own stuff to worry about. I've got my own path. But I am happy when God does something for you, because I realize what God has for me, it is for me. I don't care how much he blesses you or where you go in life. Whatever he has for me, it's going to be for me anyway. So I don't have to worry about what God is doing for you and he's doing it for you and he's not doing it for me. Yes, he's going to bless me with the stuff that he has in store for me, just like he's blessing you with what he has in store for you. So don't be jealous. Now, David said something like this. He said, I ate at the table with you. We broke bread together. In other words, he said, if it were my enemies, hear me, friend, I could have borne it. I could have dealt with that. But it's the people who I took sweet counsel with. Yes, we went to the temple together. We broke bread together. That's what hurt me the most, right? They weren't happy for me. Friend, let me tell you, you got some Judases in your life. You got people who are in your life who don't care about you, and it won't manifest until God starts blessing you, right? Because if nothing's going on in your life, they're okay with you then, because you're making them feel good. You're making them feel better. If they're miserable and they're not happy and you're not there with them, oh yeah, it ain't gonna be no problem, because misery loves company. But when you start getting elevated and start getting promoted and God start blessing you, then the devil gonna show his head. Then at that point, you're gonna see who was a real friend. You know, I've learned when the Lord starts blessing me not to share it with everybody, because I've learned down through the years that everybody does not celebrate your happiness. Everybody is not interested in your well-being. As I stated earlier, I rather deal with the enemy, because at least I know where an enemy stands. I know the enemy doesn't like me. I can deal with that. But I can't deal with somebody who I think like me and that's rocking with me and in my circle, then come to find out they feel they feel another way about me. Now that's dangerous. I got you in my corner, in my domain, and you're jealous of me. You want to destroy me. You want to jeopardize what God has done, what God is doing for me. Friend, those are some dangerous people in your life if they're close to you. We need to ask God for discernment to show us when we're meeting people, when we're befriending people. In fact, we need to look at the signs. The signs are there. We just have to open our eyes and open our ears. And many times we know this, we see these signs, but we give the person the benefit of the doubt. Friend, let me tell you, when you see those signs, you need to act on them, because eventually that's going to come against you. If God is showing you those signs, you need to really pay attention. I always say there's smoke before the fire. Friend, I pray that this exhortation bless you this morning. And in the meantime, be at peace and not in pieces. And I'll see you tonight. Don't meet me there, beat me there.